Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. Absolutely massive news coming out of Manchester City that Rodri is out for the season with a very serious knee injury. The significance of this, well, get in the comments. How significant do you think it is? Do you think it decides the title? Do you think Man City can cope without Rodri? Records suggest they won't. Records suggest that they don't. You know, with him, they don't lose. Without him, they do. So massive, massive news. I said it on the lunchtime show in the Goldbridge Arms that, look, you don't wish injury on anybody. He was already injured. If he's out for the season, it's good for the title race. And that is a horrible position to be in. I mean, look, Arsenal fans are celebrating it. I'm sure some Liverpool fans are. They might not say it publicly, but many of them have. And that's such a sad situation. And it's not a reflection on Rodri. Rodri, for me, probably will win the Ballon d'Or. Maybe deserves to win the Ballon d'Or. Probably won't, actually. I think Vinicius Jr. will win it. But he is the best holding midfielder in the world. I mean, he's just won the Euros with Spain. He's just won the Premier League with Manchester City. He won the treble the year before that. Definitively and factually, I think he is the best holding midfielder in the world. So Manchester City, without that player, it's massive. And I was trying to think of a scenario where this has happened, and there's probably better modern ones, but this happened to Manchester United in the 1997-98 season. Roy Keane, actually, Man City link, sort of went into a collision at Ellen Road with Alf-Inge Haaland, Erling Haaland's father, and did his knee, and he was out for the whole season. And we sort of fought Arsenal that year, but Arsenal won the double, and I think if we'd had Keane, we'd have had a better chance of winning the league. So, and obviously Roy Keane played in that midfield area for Manchester United. So I think it's obviously very, very significant. I'd never count against Manchester City from being able to cope with it. But look, if you're Man City and you beat Arsenal yesterday and Rodri's fit, you're in a better situation than you are when you've drawn with Arsenal with a late last-minute equaliser and Rodri's out for the season. So, yeah, it's absolutely significant. But Arsenal don't have Odegaard at the moment. You know, the real benefit factors from this could be somebody like Liverpool, who are sort of like going, can we close the gap on Arsenal and Man City? Well, they haven't got Odegaard and they haven't got Rodri. Let's hope they're going to drop some points because of that. And maybe Liverpool are the real winners in this. But look, it's a weird one. It is a weird one. But I think some people get a little bit, over the top on these sort of things. It's a bit snowflake, You can be happy that a rival have got an injury. I'm sure Man City fans were happy that Odegaard wasn't playing at the weekend. The human element comes in when you actually think about how disappointing it will be for Rodri, who is a fantastic player, to be out, to be missing, 9 months of his career. This happened to Van Dijk, of course. But in a footballing sense, it potentially makes a juggernaut more human. So the Premier League title race, I'm not going to lie, and I don't see why people should lie. It could make the title race far more interesting because Man City are weaker. Obviously, it's sad what's happened to Rodri, but to be honest with you, I sort of suspected it was going to be this anyway. I think when he went down yesterday in the penalty box, I actually thought he dived again because I was like, well, nothing's happened. And then you see what happens and he genuinely, something's gone wrong. And time, I remember this happening with Martinez for Manchester United 18 months ago. No one near him and just goes down in absolute agony. Those are the injuries that tend to be the worst ones when you don't really understand what's happened, and it can happen to anybody at any time. So look, do I think Man City can cope with this? Yes, I think you've got people like Kovacic, you've got people like Gundogan who can do that role, but they're not Rodri. You could put John Stones in that role, but they're not Rodri. Man City have got more capability than any other club probably in Europe to deal with these types of injuries. I mean, De Bruyne's out, you got Foden, you got Bernardo Silva. So they have got players who can do it. They can use one of them centre-backs to do it. They could do Gundogan, Kovacic. They've got Nunez as well. So they can accommodate it and they can still win the league quite comfortably, but they're not as strong. That's the bottom line. What I would be saying if I was Mikel Arteta or Arne Slot would be, this is an opportunity that we can't waste. It doesn't mean that Man City aren't going to win the league. It just means that there is a vulnerability to them that we have to look and capitalise on, because you take Mo Salah out of Liverpool, they're weaker. You take Odegaard out of Arsenal, or Declan Rice or Saka, they're weaker. You take Isak out of Newcastle, they're weaker. You take, trying to think of, Ollie Watkins out of Aston Villa, they're weaker. So there's no shame in Man City being weaker. Everyone knows they're weaker now. And of course, if you're Pep Guardiola, the other problem is you've lost Rodri at the start of the season for the season. It's the other injuries now. I mean, I come from a position of knowledge here. Man United last year, we had so many injuries. And that's not going to happen to Man City, of course, because they're a well-run football club. But you are always thinking throughout last season, well, we've got this player out, this player out, this player out. We can't afford any more injuries. And then those injuries hit, and you're like, this is now becoming a big problem, and it's derailing the season. So Man City's big thing at the moment is to, try and keep firing on all cylinders for the rest of the season without Rodri, whilst not picking up any other significant injuries. Because if you lose Haaland, or, for 2 months, and Alvarez is not there anymore, and Rodri's gone, you're sort of like, you're starting to panic a little bit. But they're still going to be going for the title, absolutely. And look, nobody wished an injury on Rodri. Nobody was sat on this channel or any other channel saying, I hope Rodri gets a cruciate ligament, is out for the season. He's out for the season because he got injured. Now he is out for the season. You can talk about it in an open way and say, look, it's a tragic blow for him and his career, and it's a big blow for Manchester City. It might make the title race more interesting. There's nothing wrong with saying that. It's fact, isn't it? So get your comments in below. What are your thoughts on that? Look, one of the other things I wanted to talk about was what Ian Wright said about Erling Haaland throwing the ball at Gabriel. I don't think we spoke about it enough on the lunchtime show. Ian Wright said Haaland was a coward for doing that. And it's interesting how we had so many yellow cards over the last couple of weeks, and he didn't get booked for that. And apparently VAR did review it, and he should have got booked for it. I mean, that's probably one thing I didn't add on to the lunchtime show, which was fantastic, was that he should have got a booking for that. You can't pick the ball up and throw it at somebody. I'm stunned he didn't get booked for that, actually, because a lot of people enjoyed it. But if you pick the ball up and throw it at anybody on the pitch, you're going to get booked normally. So I don't know why he didn't get booked for that, but maybe that's something you want to mention as well in the comments. But Rodri out for the season with a knee injury. How do they cope with that? What do you think it means for the title race and Manchester City? Get your comments in below. Let us know what your thoughts are. Smash a like and subscribe, and I will speak to you on the next one on That's Football. And please do check out the lunchtime show where we were live on the Goldbridge Arms talking about everything from the Premier League weekend. Take care, everyone. Speak to you all in a bit. Thank you very much for watching.